Hello, my name is Kate Caldwell. I am the Director of Sponsored Programs at the University of Detroit Mercy. This presentation is part 2 in a 3-part series on developing a budget for a grant proposal. Part 2 will focus on budgeting costs other than personnel. Common direct costs other than personnel are as follows: equipment and permanent property, travel, materials and supplies, publication, consultants, subcontracts, and other. These costs can easily be found on our internal budget sheet in sections D, E, and F. Part 1 of the grant budgeting series will show you how to access this form. Equipment. The federal government defines equipment as non-expendable property more than $5,000 per unit with a useful life of more than 1 year. That is, if you have 5 pieces of equipment for $1,000 each that total $5,000, those should go under materials and supplies. Double check the guidelines to make sure that equipment or capital costs are allowable. It's best to have either quotes, catalog references, online pricing to make a case that the cost is reasonable, and include this in your budget justification. Regarding travel, some things reviewers look for are as follows. Is it required for the project? Does it benefit the project? Is it regarding the dissemination of project results? You can check the purchasing site for policies on travel reimbursement. That can be found here. When budgeting for materials and supplies, you will want to determine whether such costs will be specifically dedicated to the project or if they are for general use. Anything that is for general use, such as phone, photocopying, postage, laptops, and the like, is usually considered an indirect cost and should not be included as a direct cost. If a laptop or software is specifically required for the project, you will want to provide reviewers with a detailed explanation in the budget narrative. Participant costs. If you are conducting a workshop or seminar for participants, the following costs will generally be included: training, including tuition, books, materials, fees, stipends, meals, food is often allowable for participants or travelers, lodging, travel. As always, please check the grant application guidelines to find out whether some costs are disallowed. Also, check to see if there is a limit on the cost per participant. Contract services. Sometimes an RFP will require investigators to contract out some of the work. For instance, some projects require collaborating with an external evaluator. In most cases, whether to collaborate with another UDM faculty or staff member or to work with a contractor is your call. Generally, agencies prefer to see most of the work being done by PIs and co-PIs rather than by contractors. However, another UDM faculty or staff member should not usually be listed as a contractor on your grant proposal because this can create a conflict of interest. If you're in such a situation, please give me a call. Also, you will want to check the RFP to see if there's a maximum day rate for consultants or if there are any other special requirements. Subcontracts, subawards. The difference between a contractor and a subaward is whether the person is working with us in his capacity as an individual or on behalf of an agency. For instance, if you collaborate with a faculty member at another university who plans to use the resources of their own university and also hire a graduate assistant for the project, we would want to subcontract with that university, not hire the person as a contractor. Generally, we like, from subcontracts, a letter of commitment, including an authorized signature, contact information for the PI and also an administrative contact, a statement of work, including a timeline and deliverables, a detailed, itemized budget, and a budget justification or narrative. Indirect costs. Indirect costs are also called facilities and administrative costs, F&A, or overhead. These are costs borne by UDM to support sponsored projects that cannot be clearly identified with a specific project. This includes infrastructure, facilities, and administration. It includes the electricity to run the labs. It includes your department and college administrative assistants. It includes me. It includes budget office. It includes printer cartridges, paper, everything else. Our federally negotiated indirect cost rate is 51.3% of salaries and wages, not including fringes. Check limits on the indirect costs in the RFP. they may be less. For instance, the Health Resources and Services Administration limits indirect costs to 8% of modified total direct costs. Recovering indirect costs can be significant, and they are real costs. And that is how to budget costs other than personnel. My contact information is as follows, my phone number and my email. Also, you can contact Rochelle Smith in the budget office. She is our post-award grants administrator, so if you are awarded the grant, she is the one who will be managing it. Thank you very much, and I hope you join us for part 3.